everybody. Nice to see you. I'll just be a fly on the wall. Uh, we'll get started here at 4:02. I think we do have some folks waiting. So thank you everyone who is here with OneClick Code and Estimate Mastery. We are super excited to host you today. Um, just a little bit about me before our primary host take the stage here. My name is Steph Bewley. I work for OneClick Code. I've been with the company for almost 2 years. I oversee marketing, and I am based in sunny Florida. And we are up to almost 60 attendees, so this is awesome. Great turnout.
Very exciting. I'm located near Salt Lake City, by the way. That's where Estimate Mastery is based. I actually recently moved up near Park City, Utah. I do not live in Park City. That's for the billionaires. So that's not me. But so that's where we're based out of. I used to live about 8 miles from Xactimate's main office, Verisk's office. I was about a stone's throw away from them, but we've recently moved up to the mountains. So that's where I'm from. And then Rick, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in Lubbock, Texas, home of Texas Tech University. I'm sure if you're a college football fan, you're probably upset with us. We went out and bought a football team this year. So,
go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Lubbock's out in the middle of nowhere, but we do get a lot of hailstorms.
You do.
A lot of weather events, a lot of wind events, lots of wind events. I've been in the construction, estimating, insurance, all that industry for about 25 years. And I've done most of my work in Texas, although I've done some stuff nationwide. So I know the job from both sides, whether it's insurance claims or from the roofing side also.
Awesome. Well, cool. I think we have to go ahead to get started. So you want to kick us off, Rick?
Sure. So, again, we've got Alena Wilson here with Estimate Mastery. You're probably more familiar with her than you are of me. But she's gonna help us out with some estimating stuff here in just a little bit. I'll go ahead and get started, while we are here. Obviously, you want to maximize your profits when you do an insurance claim, when you do a roof, things like that. We are the single source for jurisdiction correct address level roofing codes. And what we do is we research those codes so you don't have to. What we hope that you'll leave with is that you're satisfied that jurisdiction-based codes, address specific, are the way to go. They drive accurate scopes. They drive accurate settlement decisions between you and the adjuster. It's a repeatable process that allows you to provide documentation to an adjuster to streamline your roofing process. I think we can go ahead and look at the next slide. Next slide, please. So obviously you don't want to waste your time with second supplements, third supplements. You want to get your claims approved faster. A lot of times the insurance companies write the estimate at the onset. A lot of times they miss some things. We all know that. So not always a bad idea that if you do have to go back and get a supplement, you can get involved with OneClick Code. You can pull the code reports based on the address. And I can tell you this, there's about 32,000 jurisdictions in the U.S. that administer roof code and construction codes. When you use the postal zip code for those codes, you miss it by about 45% of the time. That's a lot of money that could be left on the table. And we want.
Can you explain that a little bit, Rick? I actually haven't heard that statistic before.
So when you Okay, let me back up. 32,000 jurisdictions.
When you use it, well, that I got, because there's a lot. I've been looking at. Well, I've been working with you guys for about 5-6 years now. So, but no, what you just said about the postal code, you said 45%. Can you repeat that part for me?
So if you're using the zip code,
Okay.
if you're using the zip code to pull reports for code, and not the actual address, you're missing it about 45% of the time. And what that means is there are different jurisdictions within the same zip code that administer code differently.
Interesting.
So you may be on one side of the street. You pull the code based on the zip code. The other side of the street can have a completely different code in place that requires ice and water shield, that requires drip edge, that requires an upgrade of the roof ventilation system, things like that. So you want to pay attention to the actual address, not just the
Interesting. Thank you for that. That's that I hadn't heard. That's fantastic to hear.
So another thing that we've noticed just doing research, there have been over 26,000, almost 27,000 code changes just in the last 2 years.
Wow.
That means codes are constantly changing. So when you're working in a neighborhood or working in a city, working in an area that you think you know, you may not. They change just constantly, pulling in different manufacturer requirements, manufacturer recommendations, things like that. We do the work for you. So what we do is we have an ongoing relationship with all of the jurisdictions. We make the phone calls that you would have to make. We keep it up to date. We talk to them. I think it's a maximum of every 2 years. We try to cycle through and talk to everyone within all codes within every 2 years. You don't want to spend 30 minutes on the phone for every code that you pull. You can literally pull the report. It tells you what you need. We've got calculators that can get you where you're going. I'll get into that a little bit more here in a moment. But yeah, we've ran the numbers. We've looked at it from the insurance company side. They miss things and they don't always want to go back and fix it immediately. They let the roofers either eat it or fix it themselves. 45% of the times they can be missed. Sales tax is also an issue. Same thing. You can be standing on one side of the street. Sales tax can be administered different across the street, and it's based on the actual address, the jurisdiction lines, not the zip code. Can
I just expand upon that? Because there's we do have a Q&A session, y'all. So if you see the Q&A button down below, I am monitoring those, but I did see it pop up. The way Garrett explained it to me as the founder and creator, Rick, was that like in Elizabeth, I think it was in Elizabeth, Colorado or something, you could see on one-click code report, it had this, and then right across the street, just that same street even in that part of Colorado had a different one-click code when you picked it, but had different requirements. So when you can show the adjuster that you're informed and that you're not coming up with this, you didn't wake up this morning and say, I'm going to charge for ice and water shield. It's like that elevation difference or whatever it was across the street, that can happen in many cases. And 45% of the time is when you're finding that you have those kinds of variations just by using the address. So that's what we were talking about. I kind of glossed over that because I live and breathe all this stuff all the time, but that was kind of one of the questions. What exactly does that mean? And that's what we were saying. Ice and water shield was required over here, but it wasn't required on the other side of the street. And there's many factors that go into that, but that's what one-click code is for, is to show you're the authorities say this.
Yeah, I think the example you're using is Englewood, Colorado versus
Englewood. There we go.
Arapahoe County.
Yeah.
And one jurisdiction was administered by Englewood, the city of Englewood. You go a block away and it was Arapahoe County, and the codes were completely different.
Yep.
They're both in the same zip code. They just have a different address, and it references that. obviously you want to get paid what you're worth, what you need. You don't want to waste time doing it. Everyone knows as well as I do that supplements can take forever. You've done the work, you want your money. It's probably best to provide this information in a document, a verifiable document that you can provide the insurance company up front, without them having to go back and forth with you over and over. Nobody has time to go back and forth like that. It adds cost, it adds confusion. One of the biggest thing it adds is customer non-satisfaction. When you're working on someone's roof and you can't get an answer out of the insurance company, they tend to blame the roofer because you're the one there. It also causes unplanned expenses, trips back and forth to the roofing material place just to get additional shingles this or that, because you didn't calculate it properly up front. I'll get into our calculators, and I don't know if there's a skip to the next slide, please.
Okay.
I'm getting ahead of the slides. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
So you can look up any address instantly. The weather data and history, permit fees, sales tax, all of that's in our report. You can easily incorporate that into your estimate, send it to the adjuster, and it eliminates a lot of questions. We are well known in the industry. When an adjuster sees our report, they know where it came from. They know it's accurate. They know how we work as well as contractors. So when they see it, they typically don't question it too much. Go on to the next slide.
And I think that's one of the things that blew my mind recently too, is there's a lot more insurance companies going and pulling one-click codes. That's what, right, Rick? It's not just a contractor showing up, and it's becoming more known in the industry. You're not throwing a stick in the bicycle wheel. A lot of adjusters have seen these reports before.
Absolutely. And insurance companies kind of have the wait and see approach. They throw something out there to see what sticks. They let the contractor do all the legwork. So if you provide this code report right up front, it shaves days off of your settlement process.
That's kind of a good segue into this guy's question. For contractors, when should OneClick Code be used in the roofing process? First notice of loss, throughout the claims? I mean, when you write the supplement, what do you have any good answers or thoughts on that, Rick?
Yeah, when we're industry-wide, it's going towards the contractors writing the initial estimate. I don't know why you wouldn't want to provide all the documentation you can right off the bat. It just eliminates questions, problems. There's so many dollars in upgrades, code upgrades, that insurance companies will ignore unless they're pressed. They have a responsibility to pay attention to it when they become aware of it. And when you send the OneClick Code report right up front with your estimate, it's hard for them to ignore it.
Love that. That's awesome. That's what I would agree with too. The more you can preempt, it's like a sale. That's the way I teach estimating and supplementing, is you're almost having to sell the adjuster on why they need to pay. And this is just another piece of documentation to prop up, hey, here's what I found is damage. Here's an estimate showing what those damages are. And here's the why I'm asking for my flashy ice and water shield. Yeah, but it's just an extra beautiful piece of documentation.
Absolutely. And you'll rarely get an adjuster that's going to question a OneClick Code report because they pull them. So you just did the legwork for them, but you took a week off of your settlement process.
Love that.
Let's try the next slide.
Whoops. I went too far. There you go.
I went too far, too fast. I do want to make a note also on the OneClick Code website page. We've got calculators on there, and we've got vent calculators, ice and water shield calculator, waste calculator, like a roof waste calculator, and a permit fee calculator. So like the vent calculator, it provides, you put in the measurements for the cubic airspace for the attic, and a lot of the guys that work in the roofing industry are well more um, knowledgeable about this than I am. But you put in the calculations of the perimeter of the house, the slope of the roof, and you put in the existing vents, and it will calculate whether or not you're ventilating that attic properly or not. And then it'll give you the options of what vents you can add to get it to where it needs to be, whether it be turtle vents, soffit vent, ridge vent, or whatever. That I find that extremely, extremely beneficial. And there's, just on my house alone, I live in Lubbock. We had a major hailstorm in June. I let the insurance company write the estimate. I just ran the numbers with OneClick just to kind of see what would come back. I've got 4 turtle vents on my roof. I need 12.
Wow.
Based on that report. It's a documentable report. You can send to the adjuster. It's got the calculations. There's no question. Same thing with the ice and water shield. You put the eave measurements in, you put the perimeter in, you put the slope in, and it calculates the necessary ice and water shield. No questions. Waste calculator, same thing. Xactimate has waste calculations, automatic waste. You can either support Xactimate's waste calculation with ours if you need to, or if you realize that Xactimate might be wrong, you can support that it's wrong and use our report to show that. Documentable, easy PDF to send in. Permit fee calculator, same thing. You can calculate those permit fees before you actually pull the permit. Send that into the insurance company. You know what that's going to cost you. It's handled a lot of times on the front end. You don't have to wait to the back end. All of this can be checked out on our website at oneclickcode.com. Ben Wright is the gentleman that you would want to reach out to for any questions you may have, and to get I believe we have a free trial that goes on, and you can use this coupon code over here on the I forget what those are called. QR code.
QR code.
But and there's Ben's contact information. The QR code will take you to our website. Alena, any other questions you have, or any questions that anybody's got in the chat that we could answer?
Yeah, Chelsea's asking, does it give you the ventilation codes for that, I think, specific address? And I would say yes.
Yes, it's address specific. Every report we do is address specific.
Yes. Yep. And that's about it as far as, let's see. Yep, George's question is going to segue into my fun stuff. If that's okay, Rick, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
You're good to go on what you presented. I also love that OneClick Code helps newbies with those calculators too. That's something that one of your slides addressed, so we didn't quite read the slide, but it did say, OneClick is with these calculators can help people who don't know what they don't know. Like, how do I calculate ice and water? Like, that's so good. That's just like plug and play for anybody that's going to be dealing with the adjusters. So, all right. So George asks, can OneClick report be added to Xactimate line item notes? But yes, George, it can. So let me just look at the slide here really quick. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Alena Wilson with Estimate Mastery. We teach contractors specifically how to use Xactimate and write estimates that are adjuster friendly, so you get paid what you should and in less time. Even for how you format your estimate with the adjuster when you submit to the adjuster matters. So that's really what we do here at Estimate Mastery, and that's why I'm very honored to be a guest at OneClick Code today, is that I want to show you the specifics of what I would do if I was a roofing contractor. Been working with them for 12 years. I've found what works and have definitely found what doesn't work. And OneClick Code is one of those vital reports that increasingly, as we've been speaking about, are seen by the insurance company as an authority. So whenever I teach anybody to write an estimate, I want you to be able to back it up with a third-party authority that, again, I didn't wake up this morning and say, oh, I'm going to feel like putting ice and water shield on here. There's a reason behind why we do that, right? And so we'll go into that here in a little bit. What I wanted to show you was what I would do if I was going to be teaching you to write an estimate today in Xactimate, which I'm not going to do, but you would take what OneClick Code, you run the report, and take what was for that jurisdiction and for that area. So, for example, the roof venting calculator. That's beautiful because most roofs, when I work with contractors, are underventilated. They don't know what they don't, most people don't know what they don't know. And so when you can back that up with an authority saying the roof has to have X amount of ventilation, here's the calculator from that same authority telling you how many, it's a beautiful thing. So when you look at Xactimate, let's take that as a specific example. I'm going to go into, can you see my Xactimate here?
Alena, I'll also add, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'll also add inadequate roof ventilation is why you see a lot of deterioration on shingles.
Yes.
And they can fail the warranty process because of that. So it's important to get those in place.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. There's a reason, right? That's the reason behind why code requires it. It's like, there's a reason. So I'm in Xactimate. I'm actually in an estimate. I'm just taking for face value that you guys may have seen Xactimate before. If you haven't, go check out my YouTube channel, Estimate Mastery, over on YouTube. I walk you through how to do all of this. But just for this specific example for today, I'm in the estimate. I'm in estimate items. I'm on the line item for turtle type flashing. So what I would do is I'd take what OneClick Code says, and I'd open up what's called the note. This is going to print on the report underneath the line item. It's giving the why. Why am I asking for, 12 roof vents to be added? There's only 2 on the roof, Alena. Why are you asking for 12? Well, here's why. There's additional turtle that this is where I'd put the calculation. The OneClick Code report showed that we are in need of 12 additional vents to vent the attic space. And there's probably some verbiage you could copy off of the OneClick Code and put on into this note. For this particular example, I stated the code that requires us to replace the flashing. So this isn't a great example for the specific of additional vents. But if you've ever heard, raise your hand if you've ever heard, an adjuster say, yeah, I'm not going to pay for those flashings, pipe jacks, turtle vents, because they weren't directly damaged by hail. Just give them the why. Why am I asking for this? Well, when I pry up the shingle and pry up the nail that's through that flashing, when I remove that, that's now a damaged flashing. And here's the code from the local authority. It says we cannot reinstall a damaged material. So does it matter? It's a consequential damage. So that's the kind of stuff that OneClick brings the authority of, hey, this is what's required and necessary for this area. And then again, just parroting that in your Xactimate report is a beautiful thing. So that's what I do is I save all of these notes here in Xactimate. These are all pre-saved notes that I've written once. And you can actually go into the library that I've built. I have a whole library, and I can pull out, what are my vent notes for the addition of vents for code? There it is right there. So I could instead, remove the current verbiage and just go into my library and pull up the additional vents for code and place that in there. So that's how organized you can be. And again, it's going to bounce off of what OneClick Code is saying, because that's going to be the authority. You can build a really simple, easy to use. And again, going back to like, can a newbie do, this process? If they have these kinds of resources, absolutely a newbie can do this. And it's, yep.
I also want to, sorry to keep interrupting you, but the OneClick Code website also has the copy and paste function with the exact verbiage for each code, each vent, each everything. So when you do run the report on the website, you can click copy and then go back over to Xactimate and hit paste, and it puts it right there for you in your F9 notes.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Like in Florida, they require the renail. We could go copy and paste that if that was the case. So I love that, Rick. That's a good resource that we know we can just go and grab it. And super simple, by the way, to add notes in Xactimate. All you need to do, like again, I'm assuming some knowledge here. All you need to do is go into your estimate item screen to pick any line item and click on that little note tablet. And then whatever note you copy and paste in here, you can then save it right here. And that is how I built my library of notes that I have. And then recently, past 18 months or so, you can now search your notes. Before we had to just go up and down the list, but we can actually search now. They've added a search bar. So I advocate, getting a library going as soon as possible. Pull a report for an area that you work and start to copy paste and get these libraries built. And gosh dang, is it easy to use and easy to implement once you do a little bit of groundwork. And then you're pairing it with the code report. So whether you're giving them an estimate at the adjuster's inspection, or if you're having to write a supplement, wherever you're inserting yourself in the process, the line item notes are a beautiful thing. And that way it preempts any objections. Like I said, it's like selling your estimate to the adjuster. You're overcoming the objection before you have it because you have the code baked into the line item there. And then if you want to go like super cool, ultra mega, I'm the coolest estimator ever, you can add the OneClick Code PDF into what's called a report macro. I'm not going to get that granular. I have a whole YouTube video, so write that down if that's something that's interested you. But when you print the report for Xactimate, it'll include the OneClick Code if you include it in the report macro. So I'll just leave that there. That's something they can go Easter egg out later, figure it out. But no, it's on the YouTube channel. I see there's might be some questions. So let me go back to the slideshow really quick, and then let's look at questions. All right, Monica, let's see what's going on here. You sent the OneClick Code report to the adjuster for the 2015 code R905.2.1. Asphalt shingles shall be fastened to solidly sheathed decks. She said she needs something required by the village. She also searched the code herself. She's just giving you a hard time. Yes, Monica, she is. In that instance, what would you suggest? Rick, I want to hear what you have to say, and then I have some thoughts.
I'm not sure I'm clear on the question.
The adjuster said she can't use the OneClick. She needs something required by the village. So I don't know, Monica. We're not like in if you want to expand upon that. What was her specific objection? Maybe, Rick, could that be helpful? Meaning, was she just saying OneClick? Well, this code, this document isn't sufficient because she on a OneClick code. I would direct her to call the village. All the information for the billing people are there, right, Rick?
Actually, we handle that. So when you run into things like that, if you get an objection from an adjuster, you can report that back to us. And I don't know the exact website address for that. Ben could get it to you if you want to email Ben and let him know that there's been an objection by an adjuster. We will reach out and make every attempt possible to get to the bottom of that and get a copy of that documentable code so we can get it where it needs to be.
There you go, Monica. I didn't expect that. That's a fantastic answer. Beautiful. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, Chelsea, let's get you with Ben and get that reported. And then Steph, if you have that address, maybe she might be able to drop that in the Q&A or yeah. Okay, cool. With that being said, I'll wrap up here, with our stuff here at Estimate Mastery. My job is to teach you how to write adjuster-friendly estimates that get you paid in the shortest amount of time and also legitimately maximize those estimates, right? Is the job. And then, of course, OneClick Code supports your estimate. So that's why we love having partnerships, right, Rick? Is to kind of support each other in what we do. So if you're interested in what we do, basically it's Xactimate and supplement training. Not only do I teach you how to use the piece of software, like I said, you can go to my YouTube channel and figure out how to write an estimate. That's great. But when you're ready to learn what it takes to write the estimate in a format in a way that will get paid with all the correct documentation, photos, etc., that's what we do with our main training program here at Estimate Mastery. And then also how to submit and follow up with the adjuster in a way that you're getting paid in under a month rather than it taking 4, 6, 8 months. That's the other thing that we specialize in, not just in the Xactimate training. We also help with the supplement side of things. And so if you'd like to learn more, well, basically, we help you write estimates that include all the line items. Like I said before, you don't know what you don't know. There's actually a list of commonly missed line items I want to share with you guys as a thank you for being here in a second. And then, of course, we just help you get your estimate paid as much as possible, getting you to a certain percentage. I like to see contractors get at least on average 25%. That's on the low end, over and above what the adjuster originally wrote it for. So if they came in at 20,000, I want you getting at least $5,000 paid out on that estimate. And then as you work with us more and we refine your processes, it should be more like 40% on average. So there's a lot of money that gets left behind by contractors. And that's why I love what I do, is I get to help keep small businesses in business. It's fantastic. So yep, 25% on the low end is what you're looking for. And that's what we help you do here at Estimate Mastery. And so I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna do some, we kind of been doing Q&A along the way here, Rick. Let's see here.
Sure. And I want to encourage everyone, please go out and use that free trial. You can sign up at oneclickcode.com. You can go on there and play with those calculators. I don't know what you guys have seen out there where you're at. The event calculator just blew me away. And also just the ease of frustrations of having to call a city code office and sit on the phone for 30 minutes to get an answer that you're not real sure is the right answer. It's just a valuable tool, and I encourage you to do the free trial.
That's awesome. That's again, well, we might show that again. I'm not sure that slide, but Philip, I would say the same thing that we were talking to about Monica and Chelsea. Philip says some carriers and some adjusters attempt to thwart contractors paying the code by requesting that the insured provide written evidence by the building department on their letterhead, on the building department's letterhead. That's something that you probably want to talk to Ben about. Would that be fair to say is on that one?
I think Ben can answer that question.
Oh, sorry, Philip. I gotcha. But that's what OneClick Code is for, Philip, is to circumvent these kinds of conversations. Me as a homeowner and a policyholder, you're requiring me to defend my local building code. That is ridiculous. I mean, without being mean to the adjuster, I'd be like, it's like the homeowner could raise their hand and say, why am I required to do the adjuster's job? It's required. Let's go. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I agree, Chris. It's rampant out there. It's gotten a lot worse in the last 2 years. I'll be honest. I've been doing this 12 years. The last 2 years have been tough. So I commend you guys for fighting the good fight. And then what about when code requires following manufacturer installation requirements? That question just went away, so I didn't get to read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alena. That was me. I'll field that one real quick. So essentially the question was, what happens when the manufacturing shingle installation requirements are not necessarily aligning one-to-one with the local municipality requirements? And so my response was that at OneClick Code, our manufacturing install requirement report actually shows all those required specifications, and that can be submitted as part of the estimate claim packet as well.
Awesome.
The other thing I just wanted to make sure that we do, I think we have some more questions that may be coming in, but I did want to just announce our Amazon gift card winner before we wrap. So I just wanted to call that out so we don't forget about it.
Okay, do you want to do that now?
Sure. So our winner is Robert Amber. Robert, if congratulations. I will connect with you and make sure that I get that $100 gift card in your hand. So congratulations.
Sorry, there was a slide. There you are, Robert. There we go. There's your congrats.
Perfect timing.
And then just I knew it was in here again. Here's that scan to schedule a demo for OneClick, and then as a thank you for being here at Estimate Mastery, I'm giving away your the commonly missed line items document. So if you want to snag that, it gives you just another thank you for being here. And we're all winners today because we get some other resources. So few more questions that rolled in, Rick. What if the adjuster says a homeowner doesn't have code coverage? Do you want me to get into that, or are you? Do you have any thoughts?
You know, it's becoming more and more. I know it's becoming more and more common. I would obviously ask for a copy of that exclusion, but then you get into asking too much of the policy language and things like that. So that goes back into the policy documents. That doesn't really apply to the code itself, and we wouldn't have any answer for that really.
Okay. What I would say, Wade, is try to find other line items that they can pay, because money is just money. So if we can work really hard to get overhead and profit paid, if you've already got that down, then maybe, just some other required and necessary line items that you have to understand. Xactimate is for the average job. So if they have a bunch of landscaping, or if there's a bunch of crap that you have to move away from the home to get the job done, you just need to bake in, and it's all legitimate and necessary. I'm not saying add fluff. Don't add a generator if you're not using a generator, but there's just money comes from different buckets. And sometimes we just need to find something that the adjuster can pay, or you need to do a really good job in the sales process of vetting that homeowner and to find that out on the front end if you can. Contractors are allowed to read a policy, but you are not allowed to interpret or there's another word, advise. But any human being can read the product that they've purchased. So a homeowner can provide, here's the product that I purchased, and as a contractor of choice, you can read what that product is that they have purchased. So you want to look at things like on the deck page, look for exclusions, those kinds of things. That's you as a human being reading a product that has been purchased. Just do not interpret and do not advise. It's just information. That's all it is, right? So we never talk policy with the adjuster ever. Go ahead, Rick. You're going to have a lot to say.
I would also add that you can pull the OneClick Code report, show them the code upgrades that are necessary. Let them, make them aware that their insurance company doesn't cover it. Sometimes they'll pay it out of pocket. Sometimes. Oh,
the homeowner. I see. Yeah. You're going to show the homeowner the OneClick Code.
Show the homeowner the OneClick Code and let them know what their insurance company is not paying for. They'll either find a new insurance company or they'll pay it out of pocket, one or the other. And
they, to be honest, I've been doing this for a while, and I know Rick will probably back me up on this. It's probably a cheap policy that some agent sold them that they just didn't know what they were buying. And sometimes the policy is like $120 a year. You're like, well, that's why, because you have all these exclusions. Too. So I would say you could vet it in the sales process as much as you can. And then, some people don't do the job if there isn't code upgrade. That's on you. That's how you run your business. But there's just some options for you. I just say try to find the money in some other line items that they will pay. So if ordinance and law, okay, if ordinance Phillips, I think Phillips replying to some people here. Yeah, I love that, Kimberly. You can also, if you're really good with your documentation, you can show that the item existed on tear-off. Great example is the ice and water shield. So here's my bone to pick with contractors. Y'all do not take enough photos. I would require 50 photos as a minimum. If I was going to write an estimate for you today, I would require around 50 photos so that I have the full scope of what's going on out there. So if you're writing your own estimates, you might take it for granted that the adjuster understands that there was ice and water. You saw it. Why didn't he see that when he did his inspection? Well, they aren't exactly trained to inspect the way that you think they would be trained to inspect. Unfortunately, there's a lot more ignorance in this industry than there used to be. So we just do that job for them, but we get paid for it. So by documenting every component that is installed on the roof, like I said, get a picture of that nail through that flashing. What's existing on the eave of the roof? How are those gutters installed? Is that going to affect the drip edge when, or the gutters have to be detached when the drip edge comes off? Where's the felt lay? How many layers of roofing are you dealing with? Get in the attic, because if you have to do any skip sheathing repair, is there contents in the attic? I mean, I can go on for days about photos, but I would say there's many line items missed simply because you didn't snap a photo of it, and that's unacceptable in the day of phones where everything can be stored on a cloud. So there's my little rant on that. I don't know if you have anything to say on that, Rick, but I could talk photos all day. Let's see here. Somebody has a question for me. What would be a good way to negotiate with the adjuster when they're using ITEL or managed repair program? I'm not going to actually go into that. Go to my Facebook page. I did a Facebook Live on this topic. I think I did it with John Cenac. If you want to go learn more, that's a more in-depth. But I talked about it probably about 6 months ago on a Facebook Live. You can find that on our Estimate Mastery Facebook page. Yeah, Cassandra, great point. Used to be in the insurance industry, and now that you're a contractor, you can see there's a lot of misunderstanding. Yeah, but that's okay, because we have OneClick Code that's an authority, and we just say, you know what? This is undeniable. It's required by the jurisdiction, and OneClick Code will back you up. So, anyways, I think that's a good place to end there. What do you think, Rick?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
As long as there's no more questions, we got everything out that we needed to make everyone aware of. Yeah. Again, I just encourage that free trial. It's more than you think it is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to add, thank you, Alena, for co-hosting with us. Thank you, everybody who joined today. Really great questions. So keep it coming. And we were glad to have you. As Rick mentioned, OneClick Code does have a 14-day free trial, and we are here to help you. Any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to us at any time.
Same for me. You can reach out to us, Alena at estimatemastery.com. And our phone number was, hopefully you snagged that. And any questions you want to email in, I'm here for it. And I really appreciate being here today. It's really fun. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Rick.
Next time.
Have a great one. See ya.